I unlocked the front door quietly, humming to myself, thinking I would surprise Emily with dinner. The lights were low, the living room strangely quiet. I set the bag on the counter and then I heard it. The sound of laughter, hushed but sharp. My heart skipped. I moved toward the bedroom. I pushed the door halfway open. My world stopped. Emily's voice. "Ryan, what if he finds out?" Ryan's laugh followed. "Relax, Em. He trusts us too much. He'd never imagine." The words pierced me harder than any knife. My throat tightened. I wanted to shout, but my body refused. Emily whispered again. "I still feel guilty sometimes." Ryan snorted. "Guilty? He's boring. He works all day, comes home tired, and thinks giving you flowers once a week is enough. I'm not him. I make you feel alive, don't I?" I gripped the doorframe so hard my knuckles turned white. My stomach twisted. Emily's sigh cut me deeper. "Yes, you make me feel alive." I couldn't breathe. I forced the door open wider and both of them froze. Emily's eyes widened, mouth opening, but no words came. Ryan scrambled to sit up, cursing under his breath. "Adam," Emily stammered, clutching the blanket to her chest. "It's not what it looks like." I laughed, the sound raw and broken. "Not what it looks like?" "Emily, you're in bed with my best friend." Ryan stood, his face pale but still trying to act tough. "Listen, man, I cut him off. Don't you dare call me man. You were my brother. I trusted you with everything." He stepped forward, hands raised. "I didn't plan this. It just happened." I glared at him. "Things like this don't just happen. You made a choice. Both of you did." Emily shook her head, tears spilling down. "Adam, please, I still love you. I didn't want to hurt you." I stared at her, my chest burning. "Love me? This is love. Sneaking behind my back with the one person I thought I could rely on?" Ryan muttered, "You don't understand, Adam. She wasn't happy. You were never around, always working, chasing promotions while she felt alone." I clenched my fists. "So your solution was to crawl into my bed with her? Some friend you are." Emily reached for me, but I stepped back. "Don't touch me." Her voice cracked. "I was lonely. I thought you'd changed. You weren't the man I married anymore." I laughed bitterly. "The man you married? The man who paid the bills, bought you gifts, defended you in every fight? That man?" she whispered. I needed more. Ryan smirked faintly. "Face it, Adam. You couldn't keep her happy." My rage boiled over. "And you could? By betraying me? By pretending to be my friend while stabbing me in the back?" He shrugged. "At least I gave her what she wanted." I stepped forward, chest trembling. "You think this is victory? This is rot, and it will eat you both alive." Emily sobbed, clutching the sheet. "Please, Adam, don't end it like this. We can talk, fix this somehow." I shook my head slowly. "No, there's nothing left to fix. You destroyed it," Ryan scoffed. "Then go. Walk away. She chose me." Those words cut deep, but strangely they also cleared my vision. I saw them for what they were: weak, selfish, hollow. My heart still ached, but the fog lifted. I stood taller. I whispered, "You two deserve each other, and one day you'll choke on the lies you built this on." Emily cried out, "Adam, don't—" Emily's voice cracked again. "Please, just listen to me once. I never stopped caring about you." I spat back. "Caring? If this is caring, then I'd rather have your hatred. At least hatred is honest." Ryan sneered. "You're overreacting. People move on. Grow up, Adam." I stared at him with fire in my chest. "No, Ryan. Betrayal isn't moving on. It's cowardice dressed as love." I turned and walked out, slamming the door so hard the walls rattled. My chest heaved, every step heavier than the last. I stumbled into the living room, staring at the photos on the wall, our wedding day, vacations, smiles that now felt fake. I ripped one frame down, glass shattering across the floor. My reflection stared back at me through the shards. A man broken. I dropped to my knees, whispering to myself, "Why? Why them?" My phone buzzed. A message from Ryan, of all people. "It's better this way, don't make it harder." My hand shook as I typed back, "You'll regret this." I didn't wait for a reply. I grabbed my keys, stormed out, and slammed the door shut behind me. The night air hit me cold, and I welcomed it. At least the cold was honest. I sat at the kitchen table, staring at the untouched plate of food. My phone buzzed again. Emily's text lit the screen. "I deserve to be happy. Please don't make this harder." I muttered to myself. Deserve to be happy? Was I just an obstacle to her happiness? The walls felt like they were closing in. I grabbed my jacket and stepped outside into the night. The city lights blurred as I walked aimlessly. My phone rang. Lisa. I hesitated, then answered. "Adam? Where are you?" Her voice carried worry. "Out," I whispered. "You haven't eaten in days. Talk to me." "What's there to say? My wife is in love with my best friend. What do you want me to say, Lisa?" She was quiet, then firm. "Say you're angry. Say you won't let them break you." I laughed bitterly. "Angry? I'm past angry. I feel hollow, like I was a fool this whole time." Lisa's voice softened. "You're not a fool. You loved, and they betrayed. That's on them, not you." I stopped under a street lamp, my hands trembling. "Do you think they laughed at me behind my back? Every time we had dinner together, every time Ryan shook my hand, was it all a joke?" Lisa finally said, "Their choices don't define your worth." I clenched the phone. I built my life on trust, and they shattered it. She sighed. "Come home, Adam. Don't let the night swallow you." I ended the call without replying. My feet carried me to the park. The benches were empty, the air cold. I sat down, staring. At the dark pond, Mr. Harris, my neighbor, appeared on the path, his dog tugging at the leash. "Adam, you look like hell," he said gently. I forced a smile. "Thanks, just what I needed to hear." He sat beside me. "People are talking. I don't care about gossip, but I thought you should know." I closed my eyes. Of course they are. The faithful husband fooled by his wife and best friend. I'm the joke of the street. Harris shook his head. "No, they are the joke. You stood for loyalty. They chose betrayal. People see the difference." "I feel like I'm drowning." He patted my shoulder. "You're gasping. That's different. You'll find air again." I almost laughed. "You make it sound simple." "It's not simple," he admitted, "but it's possible. Hold on to your anger, Adam. Anger can burn a path forward if you use it." His words echoed in my head as I walked back. At home, I threw myself on the couch. My phone buzzed again. Ryan's name flashed. Against my better judgment, I answered. "Adam?" His voice was calm. Too calm. "We should talk," I gritted my teeth. "Talk? You've said enough with your actions." "Look, I didn't mean for this to go this far." Emily was lonely. "You were always busy," I snapped. "Don't you dare justify it. You could have come to me, said something. Instead, you took what wasn't yours." His tone shifted, defensive. "She wanted me. What was I supposed to do? Pretend I didn't care?" I laughed coldly. "Yes, that's exactly what a friend does." He went silent, then muttered, "You'll get over it. People move on." "Move on?" I whispered. "Maybe, but I won't forget. Not this." I hung up before he could answer. My chest pounded. Not with sorrow this time, but with heat. For the first time since that night, I felt the spark of something sharp, something alive. Anger taking root. I looked around the dark room, the silence pressing against me. For days I had drowned in it, let it suffocate me. But tonight, I whispered to myself, no more drowning. If they want war, I'll give them silence first. Then something worse. I heard my own voice again, louder this time. They think I'll fade. They think I'll break. But I'm still here. And one day they'll see me standing when their walls collapse. The silence in the room seemed to answer back, and I welcomed it. For once, silence wasn't my enemy. It was my witness. I closed my eyes, breathing fire instead of tears. I stared at the envelope on the table. Divorce papers. Emily hadn't even come herself. She'd mailed them. My chest tightened, but I signed anyway. The pen felt heavy, like I was writing the final line of a story I never wanted to end. Lisa stormed in that evening, eyes blazing. So she really left? Just like that? I pushed the papers toward her, signed and sealed. No goodbye, no fight, just gone. Her hands shook as she read. And Ryan? I let out a bitter laugh. He's busy posting pictures of her online. Candlelit dinners, sunsets, hashtags about true love. Lisa slammed the table. Cowards? Both of them, and they dare to flaunt it? Apparently I'm supposed to accept being the fool, I muttered. The man who lost his wife and his best friend in one move. Lisa's voice softened. You're not the fool, Adam. They are. You gave loyalty, and they sold it cheap. People see through that. I shook my head. Do they? Because when I walk down the street, neighbors look at me with pity, like I'm some sad story they whisper about. A knock came at the door. Mr. Harris stood there, his dog waiting patiently at his side. He nodded at Lisa before turning to me. Adam, can I come in? I gestured him inside. If you're here to offer pity too, don't bother. He sat, folding his hands. Not pity, a warning. People are talking, yes, some mock, some gossip. But I'm telling you, don't let their voices drown out your own. I leaned back, tired. That's easier said than done when every glance feels like a reminder that I was betrayed. Harris looked me straight in the eye. Betrayal isn't your stain to carry. It's theirs. You can either collapse under it or rise above it. Lisa added sharply, and you're not collapsing, not on my watch. I rubbed my temples. Rise? What does that even mean? How do I rise when the two people I trusted most are out there celebrating while I'm left in pieces? Harris's tone was steady. You rise by taking control of what's yours. Not by chasing them, but by reclaiming yourself. By making choices they never expected you to make. Lisa leaned closer. He's right. You don't have to be there. Victim, you can turn this around. Her words burned in my chest. Turn it around? What, post selfies to prove I'm not broken? No, Lisa said firmly. Prove it by living better, by not letting them dictate the rest of your story, Harris added quietly. Revenge doesn't always come with fire. Sometimes it comes with patience, with silence, with showing the world they didn't break you. I exhaled slowly, my hands tightening into fists. Silence. Patience. But I can't shake the humiliation. Every time I see their faces online, I feel rage clawing at me. Lisa placed her hand over mine. Then use that rage. Let it build, not to destroy you, but to give you power. I looked at her, then at Harris. You both make it sound like I have a choice. Like I can turn this humiliation into something else. You can, Harris said simply. And you must. The silence between us grew heavy, broken only by the dog shifting at Harris's feet. My chest rose and fell as I thought of Emily's smile in those photos, Ryan's arm around her like he'd won some grand prize. My stomach turned, but beneath the nausea was a spark, tiny, dangerous. Lisa's voice cut through my thoughts. Adam, don't let them write your ending. Write your own. Make them wish they had never underestimated you. I swallowed hard, staring at the crumpled divorce papers on the table. Maybe I've been thinking about this the wrong way. Maybe losing them wasn't the end. Maybe it was the beginning. Harris nodded. That's the spirit I wanted to hear, Lisa smirked. Now you're talking like my brother again. I stood, pacing the room. If they expect me to collapse, then maybe my best answer is to stand taller. If they expect me to fade, maybe I'll burn brighter. Lisa grinned. Exactly. I paused, looking out the window into the night. I don't know how yet, but I won't stay their victim. I'll find a way to reclaim control. Harris rose, patting my shoulder. That's all you need to know. Tonight. The rest will come. When they left, I sat alone in the quiet, but it felt different now. Less like drowning, more like waiting. I whispered to myself, they think they won. They have no idea what's coming. I scrolled through the listings on my laptop, not looking for anything in particular. I just wanted to numb my head with meaningless windows of houses I'd never live in. Then I froze. The photo on the screen showed a 2-story home with white shutters and a wide porch. Ryan and Emily's dream house. The caption read, "Mortgage transfer available. Negotiable terms." I whispered, "No. It can't be." I clicked the details, my pulse racing. The address matched the one I had seen Emily tag online weeks ago. They had barely moved in, yet here it was, already vulnerable. Lisa's voice came from the kitchen. "You're awfully quiet. What are you staring at?" I turned the screen toward her. "This, their house, it's listed." She leaned in, eyes widening. "You're kidding. They just moved in." "Apparently the mortgage is already bleeding them," I muttered. "Look, transfer possible, lender desperate." Lisa studied me carefully. "What are you thinking?" I leaned back, heart pounding. "I'm thinking I could take it, brick by brick. Their dream in my hands." Her eyebrows shot up. "Adam, are you serious?" "Yes," I said firmly. "Why shouldn't I be? They took everything from me, my marriage, my trust, my dignity. Why not take back something that matters to them?" Lisa crossed her arms. "That's not just a house, that's war." I looked her dead in the eye. "They declared war when they betrayed me." She hesitated, then whispered, "Do you even have the money?" "I've got savings, investments, enough to move, and the bank's desperate. I can feel it." Lisa paced the room. "If you do this, you need to be sure this isn't some petty move. This is permanent." "I'm sure," I said, my voice steady for the first time in weeks. "For once, I feel control again. Real control." She stopped pacing. "Then do it. But promise me one thing. Don't let revenge consume you." I smirked faintly. Too late for that. The next morning, I walked into the bank. A middle-aged loan officer greeted me. "Mr. Clark, please have a seat. I understand you're interested in assuming a mortgage?" I nodded. "Yes, I saw the listing." He flipped through papers. "The current owners, let's just say they overreached. The debt is heavier than they expected. If you're prepared to take responsibility, we can expedite the process." I leaned forward. "And what happens to them?" He blinked, cautious. "They'd be required to vacate. Standard procedure." My chest burned, not with sorrow this time, but with dark satisfaction. "Good. I'm interested. Very interested." We went over numbers. I signed nothing yet, but every word, every calculation, made the vision sharper in my head. Ryan and Emily struggling, unaware that I was already holding the knife. Leaving the bank, I called Lisa. "Well?" she asked. "It's possible. More than possible. They're drowning already, and the bank is begging for someone to step in." "And you're ready to be that someone," she said flatly. "Yes," I whispered. "I want to be the storm they never saw coming." There was silence on the line before she said, "Then do it, Adam. Take it. But promise me, when you finally stand in front of them, you won't beg for explanations. You'll just watch them fall." I smiled faintly. "That's the plan." That night, I sat alone with the paperwork the bank had given me. I ran my hand over the folders, imagining Emily's expression when she realized the man she discarded was the man who now owned her house. For the first time since the betrayal, I didn't feel broken. I felt sharp, alive, dangerous. I whispered. To myself, this isn't survival anymore, this is war, and I'm ready to fight. The invitation landed in my mailbox, written in Emily's perfect cursive. Housewarming party. Celebrate love's new beginning. I muttered, love's new beginning. What a joke. Lisa glanced over my shoulder. You're not seriously going, are you? I am, I said calmly. She frowned. Adam, they expect you to either avoid it or explode. Don't give them what they want. I won't, I replied. I'll give them something they don't understand. Silence and a smile. The night of the party, I walked through their door as if nothing had happened. Laughter filled the house, glasses clinked, and the air stank of forced happiness. Ryan spotted me first, his smile faltering. Adam, he said loudly, as if announcing me would control the room. Didn't think you'd come. I shook his hand with a grin. Why wouldn't I? You're celebrating, aren't you? Emily approached, her dress glittering under the lights. Adam, this is unexpected. I raised my glass from the counter. Relax, Emily, I came to congratulate you both. Her lips trembled. Congratulate? Yes, I said. You found what you wanted. That deserves a toast. I clinked glasses with Ryan before sipping. The room hushed, every eye fixed on me waiting for an explosion. Instead, I smiled wider. One neighbor whispered, He's taking it well. Another muttered, Too well. Ryan laughed nervously. See? We're all adults here. I leaned closer. Adults? Yes. Honest? That's another matter. Emily stiffened. Adam! I waved her off, still smiling. Don't worry. I won't ruin your fairy tale. Enjoy the party. And with that, I drank, mingled briefly, then left without another word. The silence I left behind felt heavier than any shout. The next morning, Lisa nearly spilled her coffee when I told her. You just left? She asked. Yes. You smiled, toasted, and walked away? Yes. She stared at me. You're terrifying, I smirked. Good. Let them stew in it. Later that week, I met Mark, the realtor, in a quiet cafe downtown. He slid documents across the table. Everything's moving smoothly, he said. The mortgage is fragile, just like we thought. You'll have control soon, I tapped the folder. Discretion matters, Mark. They can't know until the ink is dry. He nodded. Understood. You'll be the ghost behind the walls until it's yours. I smiled. Perfect. That evening, while checking paperwork at home, my phone buzzed. An unknown number, I answered cautiously. Adam? A hesitant female voice. Yes. Who's this? It's Clara, Ryan's sister. My pulse jumped. Clara? Why are you calling me? She hesitated, then blurted, Because I can't watch him anymore. He betrayed you, and now he parades Emily around like some prize. I hate it. I stayed silent, letting her continue. He's my brother, but he disgusts me. And Emily, she acts like she won a crown. I know things, Adam. Things you might use. I leaned forward. What kind of things? They're behind on payments already. Ryan pretends he has it under control, but he's drowning. And Emily's starting to resent it. She wants the image of wealth, but not the struggle. A slow smile spread across my face. Clara, why tell me this? Because he deserves to fall. And maybe you deserve to see it, I whispered. Then help me push him. 2 nights later, Ryan hosted another gathering. I didn't go, but Clara did. She texted me under the table. They're arguing in whispers. She blames him for bills. He blames her for spending. Cracks are forming. I stared at her message. Heat, rushing through me. The plan was working without me lifting a finger. Lisa caught me grinning at my phone. What's that smile? Information, I said. She eyed me warily. From who? An ally I didn't expect. Lisa crossed her arms. Adam, just promise me you won't lose yourself in this. I met her gaze. I'm not losing myself. For the first time, I'm finding who I am. Days later, I met Clara in person at a quiet park bench. She looked nervous. Are you sure about this? She asked, Yes, I said firmly. Ryan chose his path. I'm just showing him where it leads. She exhaled. Then you should know. He's been bragging to friends that you're weak, that you can't move on. He thinks you'll never rise. I laughed softly. Let him think that. The higher his arrogance climbs, the harder he'll crash. She studied me. You've changed, Adam. I nodded. Good. Change is exactly what I needed. That night, I reviewed the contract. Mark had prepared. My signature would seal Ryan's fate. I imagined Emily's face when she realized her glittering parties were thrown in a house I now owned. For the first time in weeks, I slept peacefully. Mark slid the final stack of papers toward me. Congratulations, Adam. As of today, you control the mortgage. They'll keep sending checks, but the money flows through you. I stared at my signature on the page, a strange calm flooding me. So they'll have no idea I'm behind this? None, he assured me. To them, it's just the bank. To you, it's leverage, I whispered. Perfect. A week later, Clara called me. They fought again, she said quickly. Emily snapped about the bills. Ryan told her to stop spending like a queen. She slammed a door. I leaned against my desk, smiling faintly. And their parties? Fewer guests now. They're quieter, more tense. Good, I said softly. Let them choke on their own silence. Lisa caught me smirking at my phone. What's going on? I held back, but she pushed. Adam, don't hide it from me. Finally, I admitted. The mortgage is mine. Every payment they struggle to make goes straight to me. Her jaw dropped. You bought it? Yes. She shook her head in disbelief. That's diabolical. I shrugged. It's justice. They wanted their dream house. Now their dream belongs to me. Lisa's eyes softened. Does it feel good? I thought for a moment. It feels right. 2 weeks later, Clara texted me late at night. They're late on payment again. Emily cried. Ryan cursed. Things are breaking fast. I called her immediately. Tell me everything. She whispered. He's panicking. Pretending to be strong in front of her, but I saw him. He's scared. He doesn't know how to cover the next bill. I closed my eyes, savoring it. He'll learn soon enough. The next day, I stopped by the house. Emily answered the door, surprise flickering across her face. Adam, she said sharply. Why are you here? I smiled. Just in the neighborhood. Thought I'd say hello. Ryan appeared behind her, forcing a laugh. Of all people. What brings you here? Curiosity, I replied. Wanted to see how the dream house is treating you. Emily's smile cracked. It's fine. Is it? I asked, tilting my head. Looks like you're a little tired, Ryan bristled. We're managing just fine. Of course you are, I said smoothly. Well, enjoy it while you can. I turned and left, leaving them standing in the doorway, unease written across their faces. That evening, Lisa confronted me. You're playing with fire. I shrugged. They lit the match first. But showing up like that? You want them to suspect? I want them to sweat, I said. I want them to feel the ground shift beneath them. 2 months passed. Late payments piled up. The tone of Ryan's posts changed. Less love, more bravado, as if trying to mask failure. Emily stopped posting entirely. Clara kept me informed. They barely talk at dinner, she reported one night. Emily throws receipts at him. He yells about responsibility. Their faded love looks more like a prison now. I couldn't stop the smile. Exactly as it should. Finally, the notice was ready. Mark called me. It's official. They're being evicted. Do you want the paperwork mailed or? No, I cut him off. I'll deliver it myself. That afternoon, I walked up their porch, papers in hand. Ryan opened the door, his face pale. You, he muttered. What do you want? I held out the envelope. This. Read it. Emily appeared behind him, frowning. What's going on? Ryan ripped the seal, scanned the page, and his face drained of color. Eviction? Emily snatched the paper, her hands shaking. This can't be real. It's real, I said calmly. Ryan's voice cracked. Who the hell owns this mortgage? Who did this? I leaned closer, whispering, Me. Emily gasped. You? I nodded. Every payment you've made went through me, and now every failure has led you here. Ryan's fists clenched. You bastard! You planned this! I smiled faintly. No, Ryan. You planned this the night you betrayed me. I just finished the story you started. Emily's eyes filled with tears. Adam, please, don't do this. We have nowhere else. Save it, I said coldly. You didn't beg for my heart when you broke it. Don't beg for my mercy now. Ryan's voice rose. You think this makes you strong? You're pathetic. Holding grudges, playing games. No, I interrupted. This isn't a game. This is balance. And today, balance is restored. I turned, leaving them standing in their doorway, stunned, humiliated, broken. Lisa called me later. Did you do it? Yes, I said simply. And their faces? I allowed myself a dark laugh. Shock, fear, humiliation, everything they gave me returned in full. She was quiet for a moment. So do you feel better? I exhaled slowly. Not better, but stronger. For the first time since it all began, I feel like the power is mine again. I sat in a cafe near their house, sipping coffee when Clara slid into the seat across from me. They're fighting constantly now, she whispered. Emily screams about losing the house. Ryan yells that she spends too much. It's ugly. I leaned back, calm. The cracks are showing. Clara nodded. She even called Sophie last night, her old childhood friend, begged her for help. Sophie told me she hung up on her after saying, "You made your bed, Emily." I smirked. Good. Let her taste isolation. That evening, my phone buzzed. Emily's name. I let it ring twice before answering. Adam, she said, her voice trembling. Please don't go through with this eviction. We'll find the money. You already had your chance, I replied coldly. Adam, I was wrong. I admit it. I chose badly. I trusted the wrong person. I cut her off. You trusted him over me. That was your choice, and now you live with it. She broke down crying. We'll lose everything. Maybe you should have thought of that before risking everything, I said, then hung up. The next day, Ryan called. His tone was sharp. You think you're clever, don't you? Pulling strings, making us beg, I chuckled. Funny. I don't recall begging when you betrayed me. Damn it, Adam, he snapped. You're ruining Emily's life. She doesn't deserve this. I laughed bitterly. Neither did I. But you were fine with it then, weren't you? There was silence, then he muttered, This isn't over. It already is, I said before hanging up. Later that week, Detective Moore showed up at my door. A tall man in a gray coat, badge flashing. Mr. Clark, he said evenly. I'm investigating some fraudulent deals tied to Ryan Carter. I understand you were once close? Too close, I muttered. What kind of fraud? Kickbacks, fake investments. He's on our radar. If you hear anything, let me know. I smirked. Trust me, detective, you'll hear plenty soon. Moore narrowed his eyes. Good. Men like him usually collapse from the inside. The very next evening, Sophie found me in the grocery store. Adam, she said softly. Emily called me again, begged me to defend her to neighbors. I told her the truth. She destroyed herself. People are talking and not kindly. I raised an eyebrow. And what did she say? She screamed that I betrayed her too, Sophie said, shaking her head. But I'm done covering for her. The whole neighborhood knows now. They whisper about how she cheated, how Ryan stole from friends, their fairy tales rotting. I smiled faintly. Good. Let it rot. 2 nights later, I walked past their house. Through the open window, their voices carried. Emily shouted, You promised me stability, Ryan. You said leaving Adam was the right choice, Ryan roared back. I gave up everything for you. You think I'm made of money? You're ungrateful, Emily, she cried. Ungrateful? I lost everything because of you. I couldn't help myself. I knocked. Ryan opened the door, eyes bloodshot. What do you want? I stepped inside calmly, just to see how paradise is holding up. Emily's eyes were swollen from tears. Adam, please, can't you reconsider? We'll find a way to pay, I swear. I looked at her, then at Ryan. Do you remember what you told me years ago, Ryan? Real friends never betray. His face twisted. Don't use my words against me. They're not against you, I said coldly. They define you. And you failed them. Emily sobbed. Please. No, I snapped. You wanted him, you got him, and now you have nothing else. Ryan's fists trembled. You think this makes you the better man? I leaned closer. No, this makes me the man who survived your betrayal. That's more than you can say. I turned, leaving them in silence. Lisa called as I walked home. Well, they begged, I said simply. And? I reminded Ryan of his own words. That was enough. She exhaled. So the cracks are open now. Yes, I whispered. Their paradise is crumbling piece by piece, and I don't need to lift a finger. The rot is doing the work for me. Was locking my front door when Ryan stormed up the path, face red, fists clenched. You bastard, he shouted. You stole my house, I smirked. Your house? No, Ryan. It was never yours. You couldn't afford it. He jabbed a finger in my chest. You went behind my back. You set us up. I brushed his hand away. No, I just gave gravity a little push. You built your life on lies. Lies collapse. Emily appeared behind him, eyes swollen. Adam, please, don't do this. You've made your point. I stared at her coldly. My point? That night I walked in and saw you. Both I stopped being a husband and became your joke. That was the point, Emily. This is just the consequence. Ryan spat on the ground. You think you're better than me? You're pathetic, holding on to grudges like a child. I laughed bitterly. Grudge? No, Ryan. This isn't a grudge, this is balance. You took what wasn't yours. Now you've lost what was never truly yours to begin with. Emily reached for me, tears streaking down her face. Adam, listen to me. I know I hurt you, but deep down, I still love you. I froze, then laughed darkly. Love me? You loved me while you were in my bed with him? You loved me while mocking my flowers, my late nights at work, my loyalty. She sobbed. I was confused. I thought he was what I needed. I was wrong. I leaned closer. You weren't confused. You were selfish. You wanted excitement, so you burned everything for it. Now the fire's out and all you have are ashes. Ryan shoved me. Don't talk to her like that. I stood my ground. You don't get to defend her. You're the one who smiled in my face while stabbing me in the back. Do you remember what you said years ago? Real friends never betray. His jaw tightened. Don't throw my words at me. They're your words, Ryan, and you buried them the moment you touched her. Emily clutched his arm. Stop, both of you, please. Can't we just move on? Move on? I asked, voice low. You moved on the night you threw me away. Don't ask me to carry you now, Ryan growled. You wanted this, didn't you? To watch us fail, to gloat. I shook my head slowly. No, I wanted to heal. But healing doesn't come from pretending. It comes from truth. And the truth is, this is karma, not revenge. Karma. The choices you made brought you here, Emily whispered. We're losing everything. Yes, I said. The way I lost everything. The difference is, you chose it. I didn't. Ryan's face twisted with rage. You'll pay for this. I stepped closer, eye to eye. No, Ryan. You already paid. You lost your home, your pride, your reputation. And it wasn't me who did it. It was you. Emily's voice cracked. Adam, I never stopped caring. I cut her off. Don't. If you cared, you wouldn't have betrayed me. If you cared, you would have fought for me instead of sneaking behind my back. You cared only about yourself. She covered her face, sobbing. Ryan turned away, fists trembling but powerless. You know what the worst part was? I said quietly. It wasn't the betrayal itself. It was the silence. Standing there that night, hearing your whispers, realizing the two people I trusted most saw me as nothing. That silence broke me. And now you live in that silence, Ryan muttered. We'll rebuild. You can't break us. I smirked. You're already broken. Emily blames you. You resent her. That house was your symbol. Now it's mine. What's left between you? Emily cried harder. Ryan didn't answer. I stepped back. This isn't about me anymore. It's about you facing yourselves. And the truth is, you can't. Ryan finally snapped, shouting, Get out of my sight! I smiled. Gladly. I turned and walked away, their voices fading behind me. Later, Lisa called. What happened? They confronted me, I said simply. And I told them the truth. That this wasn't revenge. It was karma. She was quiet for a moment. Do you feel lighter now? I looked out at the night sky. Not lighter, but clearer. For the first time, I don't feel their weight on me anymore. Lisa dropped a newspaper on my desk. You've seen this? I glanced down. Ryan's face stared back at me under the headline, Local Businessman Fired After Fraud Allegations. I chuckled softly. So, Detective Moore was right. The walls finally caved in. Lisa folded her arms. And Emily? I leaned back. Gone. Clara told me she walked out after the eviction, packed her things and left Ryan to drown alone. Lisa sighed. You'd think I'd feel sorry for them. But I don't. Neither do I said. I only feel done. Later that week, Clara called. Adam, you won't believe this, she said. Emily's bouncing from man to man. She moved in with some guy last month and he kicked her out already. She's desperate. I was quiet for a moment before answering. And Ryan? Broke. Can't pay his debts. His so-called friends cut him off. He drinks too much. He's a shadow now. I let out a slow breath. Then karma's finished its work, Clara hesitated. And you? What about you? I smiled faintly. I'm still standing. At the office, a new face appeared in the break room. She smiled warmly. You must be Adam. I'm Natalie, just started this week. I nodded politely. Welcome aboard, she laughed. Everyone says you're the quiet one. Maybe, I said. But quiet doesn't mean weak. Her eyes softened. I didn't say weak. I said quiet. There's a difference. For the first time in months, I didn't feel defensive. Fair enough. That evening, Lisa called again. So, you met the new colleague? Yes, I admitted. And she's kind, different. But don't worry, it's not like that. I'm not looking for romance. Lisa chuckled. I didn't say you were. Maybe you just need a friend. Maybe, I said quietly. A few days later, Sophie stopped me outside the grocery store. Adam, she said, lowering her voice. Emily called me again. She's living in a cheap motel now. Wants me to vouch for her, but I told her no. She's burned too many bridges. I raised an eyebrow. She still thinks people owe her something? Exactly, Sophie said. But no one's listening anymore. People remember what she did. I nodded. That's the thing about betrayal. It follows you, no matter how far you run. One afternoon, Natalie found me staring at the window during lunch. You're a million miles away, she said gently. Just thinking, I replied. About them? I looked at her. Not exactly. About me. Who I was, and who I am now. She tilted her head. And who are you now? I thought for a moment. Not the man I was, not broken anymore. Just rebuilding. She smiled softly. That sounds like progress. I smiled back, small, but real. It feels like it. That evening, Lisa visited. She found me packing old boxes in the living room. What are you doing? She asked. Cleaning out the past, I said. Photos, keepsakes, things that don't matter anymore. She held up a wedding picture I'd tossed aside. And this? Especially that, I said firmly. She studied me. You've changed. I nodded. I had to. The scars are there, but they don't control me anymore. Later that night, I sat alone, watching the quiet street. My phone buzzed. An unknown number. A message appeared. Adam, it's me. Emily. Please. Can we talk? I stared at it for a long moment before deleting it without replying. I whispered to myself, the past has no power here anymore. For the first time in a long time, I felt peace settle over me, not perfect, not complete, but real. I stood at the edge of the driveway staring at the house, their house, my house now. The windows were dark, the porch empty, the silence heavy. Lisa's voice broke the stillness. So, this is it? Yes, I said quietly. The end of their story, and mine. She studied me. Do you feel proud? I shook my head. Not proud, not happy. Just free. She frowned. Free? Yes, the anger doesn't sit on my chest anymore. The betrayal doesn't eat me alive. This place was their paradise, their crown. Now it's just wood and brick. Lisa crossed her arms. So what happens now? I looked at her. I walk away. Natalie called later that afternoon. Adam, where are you? You sound distant. I'm standing in front of a house, I said. A house? She asked, curious. The house. The one that held my past. There was silence before she asked gently, and what do you see? I let out a long breath. Not ghosts, not memories, just emptiness. And that emptiness doesn't hurt anymore. She whispered, that sounds like closure. Exactly, I said. Closure. As I circled the porch, Clara appeared from the sidewalk. You really bought it, she said softly. Yes. And now it's empty, she murmured. Feels different, doesn't it? I nodded. I thought standing here would feel like victory, but it's just peace. Clara studied me. Then maybe that's the real victory. Maybe, I admitted, but it's not about them anymore. It's about me. Sophie ran into me at the corner store the next day. I heard they're both gone for good, she said. They are, I replied. And you? I'm still here. She gave a small smile. Then you won. Not in destroying them, but in surviving them. I thought about her words as I walked home. Surviving them, that was exactly it. That evening, Lisa sat with me on the porch steps. Do you regret any of it? She asked. I shook my head. No. The betrayal demanded an answer, but revenge was never the true prize. It was learning I could stand without them. She leaned against me. Then you've done it. Yes, I whispered. I've done it. The following morning, I walked through the house one last time. My footsteps echoed against empty walls. I stopped in the living room, remembering their parties, their laughter, their performance of happiness. I spoke aloud, though no one was there. This house never loved you. It never saved you. And now it's mine. Not to keep you out, but to let me go. For the first time, I didn't feel bitterness in my chest. Only release. On my way out, Detective Moore appeared on the sidewalk. Clark, he greeted. Thought I'd find you here. What is it, detective? He shrugged. Ryan's finished. Charges will stick. Fraud, false accounts, everything. He won't crawl out this time. I nodded calmly. That's his consequence, not mine. Moore studied me. You don't sound like a man celebrating. Because I'm not. Justice isn't celebration. It's closure. He tipped his hat. Fair enough. When I returned home, Natalie called again. Adam? Yes? You sound lighter today. I smiled faintly. I left something behind, finally. She didn't press, just said, then keep moving forward. I will, I promised. That night, I walked one last time, past the house. I didn't stop, didn't linger. I just looked at the dark windows and whispered, goodbye. The cold wind brushed against me, and instead of pain, it carried peace. I kept walking, away from the house, away from Emily, away from Ryan. For the first time since that night of betrayal, the road ahead felt like mine alone.